DreamHack Masters Malmö Day 3 starts now. We start our day with 12 teams. We will not end until we have just 8. And then we'll be preparing ourselves for the weekend in the Malmö arena. Teams competing for $250,000. I'm going to be your host, Alex Machine Richardson, and we've got ourselves a fantastic set of best of threes to be guiding you through today. Before we even address that, we've got to go ahead and remind everybody that's currently sitting in that stream, sitting here in Malmö, what happened yesterday, because we had so many surprises. It was a bit of a mad one as 4 teams secured their spot in the quarterfinals. So we're going to throw that up and I'll show you exactly what blew our minds today. We started with the whole Tyloo Liquid affair. We got to see that ridiculous, I'm sorry, Jason, I didn't mean to bring that up, but it did blow a lot of people's minds. Unfortunately, we can't actually show you, but we can discuss it a little further. Oh, we can? Yes, we can. Okay, so that was the result I was alluding to, Jason. 22-19, mind-boggling stuff. We got to see G2 just wave goodbye to them without actually really getting any sort of excitement building for that French roster. Lounge more predictable, and the final team we waved goodbye to was FaZe. And then you can see the 4 teams that secured their spot in the quarterfinals. Looks pretty kind of easy to read. The Dignitas result against Astralis definitely raised some eyebrows. We got a very close affair
Luminosity was,
between Navi CLG.
Esports Luminosity was pretty crazy as well.
Yeah, I think Tyloo and Liquid was also very crazy.
Oh, yeah,
great game.
Just keep bringing it right back.
Also, the Navi versus CLG one just comes to show that Americans are back to where they belong.
And right at the end of the day, we got to see Tempo VP.
Let's not start the day off by roasting North American Counter-Strike.
Now, as they've already suggested, still a little fresh. The wound is a little fresh for Jason, but we're not going to be talking about Liquid for too long, fortunately, as they are long gone. They're probably on their way home already. Instead, though, what we can do is talk about what's coming up today. 4 best of 3s, as I said already. This time, though, we can kind of clear the air a little bit, see what Tyloo can do against defending world champions Luminosity Gaming. And then after that one, we get to see a little bit of an interesting one. Godsent CLG, a lot of people not so sure about where that one is going to go. We saw good stuff from CLG yesterday, though, in their performance on Dust 2. Big game of the day, NIP Astralis in Sweden, 5 minutes from Denmark. It's definitely going to be a domestic affair. And then finishing the day strong with Envious versus Tempo Storm. A lot to look forward to there, gents. And I say, gents, I haven't actually properly introduced you. I've got myself Jason Moses O'Toole, Janko YNK Paunovic, and then Robin Viflaren Johansson. Thanks, gents, for joining me. We are going to try and address a little bit of yesterday, a little bit of today. So just quickly kind of scrape the surface of what we've got to look forward to today.
I'm looking forward to, well, there's 2 matches.
Okay.
I want to see that CLG Godsent. I don't think it's going to be the best Counter-Strike that we'll see this whole weekend or week, but I think that can be a really, really fun game to watch just in terms of, you know, storyline of Pronax being back. CLG's look much improved, continuously improving. That's going to be cool. And the obvious one, like you mentioned, NIP Astralis. I think that's going to be a sick bloodbath there. Both teams actually underperforming, or not underperforming, coming out really sluggish against Dignitas and getting upset in those in the first 2 matches. But they both look with the tactical approach that NIP has. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Astralis can handle that with their more default and fundamental playstyle.
It does feel like the desk is going to be very split for that one. I think the NIP Astralis does already, even in the green room, seem like it's going to be kind of changing some minds. But just very quickly from you, Janko, which game are you looking forward to? Is it still NIP Astralis?
I mean, that's the obvious matchup, right? Could have even been a grand final in another scenario, right? But also, I'm looking forward to the Envious Tempo Storm matchup as well, because we've seen yesterday that Tempo Storm can have off games, off days as well. And Envious, you can't really ever count them completely out simply because of all the firepower and talent they have of the team. And even yesterday in that grudge match, so to speak, against FaZe, you could see them showing emotion, especially happy, which is something we're not used
familiar
to.
with.
And, you know, maybe this is a tournament where they will actually make it out of the groups and not finish in last place.
Some big games coming up. Of course, we start with Tyloo Luminosity as well. And actually, you know, talk of Tyloo and Luminosity, Smix is standing by while they set up. So we may as well go throw it over to you, Smix. What's things looking like down there?
Well, Alex, it's actually still pretty quiet, obviously. The only 2 teams that are here are Tyloo and Luminosity, obviously. And Tyloo's behind me. They're looking pretty focused, and Luminosity's been pretty quiet, too. So I think everyone's still waking up.
I mean, I think we are too, let's be honest. But how do the Tyloo guys look? Right, we've been doubting them from the start. Are there still nerves there? We criticize them, and that can affect their play quite heavily.
Actually, I think they're feeling a lot better. I was actually speaking with Marshall, their interpreter, just seeing what they're feeling like today. And basically, he said that the win they had against Liquid yesterday was sort of the confidence booster that they needed to really, I guess, get comfortable with playing here at Malmö and really show what they came here to show. So I think they're going into this game with the mindset that they're just going to try to to get as many rounds as they can, just try to do as best as they can. They already know that Luminosity is a world-class team, so I think they're going into this without any pressure, just trying to show the world the best of their abilities. And I believe we're actually going to head to a quick commercial break. But when we get back, we will have the first match of the day. It'll be a rematch with Tyloo and Luminosity.
So, you have a lot of CSGO skins and you want to sell them? Are you tired of dealing with unreliable sites? You don't have to search for the perfect place anymore. Penguin.net is the answer. Largest selection of CSGO products, case contents hand-picked for your satisfaction. Buy and sell skins on skins.penguin.net. Check it now!
birthday to ROG. Happy birthday to ROG.
Day 3 of DreamHack Masters Malmö starts with the current world champions clashing with what China has to offer. China's best Tyloo are going to be trying to take on Luminosity today to start our day with potentially a bang. Apparently, according to Smix, they're looking a lot calmer than they did yesterday. We knew that affected them, and now we're going to be able to really see what they can do in a best-of-3 scenario. There's no doubt that they are going to be the underdogs. I mean, what's under an underdog? You can't be anything more than like something smaller than a dog, like a undercat maybe.
North America.
North America in general. Before we do get that opportunity to talk about this game, though, gentlemen, we've actually got a special treat for everyone, not only here, but also at home. So Godsend's coming up next, right? We actually had Parla play a couple of 1v1s with Pronax and Schneider, and I know this is going to be fun, so why don't we go have a look at this to warm ourselves up for today.
Hello everyone and welcome to Arena Online. I've come here with Pronax and Schneider from Godsend. How are you guys doing?
We're fine, we're fine.
Yeah? A bit cold maybe, standing outside in the wind, but we're here to check out the local Malmö gaming scene and unfortunately for me, play some Counter-Strike 1v1. So guys, how are you feeling?
Pretty confident. Yeah, it's going to be pretty easy actually.
Should we just head inside and, get this thing started?
Let's do it. Yeah, let's go.
About to play Schneider, first to 10. May the best man win. I'm not too hopeful, Schneider. What about you?
It's going to be pretty easy, I think. Almost too easy.
Pull out the deagle if you're a man.
You want me to pull out the deagle?
One round of deagle. Is that allowed that he can do that to me? I'm moving on to Pronax now. It was relatively close against Schneider. I shouldn't have pulled out the deagle and got cocky. Whatever, I'm not going to make the same mistake. Pronax, you ready?
I'm ready.
Do you think it's going to be easier for you than it was for Schneider?
Obviously.
Let's see. Oh, no. I feel like you're playing better than Schneider already. Dude, how are you not dead there, man? I keep forgetting we've got no armor, man. Nice pre-fire.
You're throwing.
I'm not throwing.
Making me look bad.
No, I'm not.
Pala,
You're just bad.
I thought we were friends.
We are friends. Congratulations to both of you for beating me. It was an up and down journey, but you guys did it. And so I'm going to hand over some turning torso memories. This is a famous building from Malmö, I've been told.
Sorry about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Turning torso. Pronax, what was the thought process behind Godsend, setting up your own organization?
Honestly, in most organizations that I have played in, except Fnatic, the players didn't get treated that well. And it's for many different reasons, actually. And I actually think we can pull it off. And when we do, the benefits will just be far greater than if we join another already established organization.
It's not like a finished product where they come to you and say, here, play with this, here, take this, here's this ugly ass shirt. But it's like, we can come to an agreement ourselves.
So you got to design the swag yourself?
So this is not the finished chart, how it will look later, but we're quite happy with it anyway.
Given the history between, the both of you, what's it like to play on the same team again?
It's obviously fun, I know...
Disagrees, Pronax.
That bitch kicked me.
Oh, okay. Should we settle this? This seems like a good opportunity, maybe, that we can kind of finally squash the tension in the air.
I just wanted to say sorry.
I kicked him because he was bad, but now he's actually quite good. So everything is good now.
I guess then we can end this therapy session by saying times and people change.
Exactly.
And we can all get on. Friendship.
Oh, brilliant. Friendship, man. Janko loved that. He was a big fan of that one. So counseling with Parla is done. That means we can talk about some CS boys. Tyloo, LG. Yeah, that's what we're going to go ahead and do. And we're going to kind of remind ourselves, of course, why we're in this scenario. It still feels weird that we're sitting here talking about the defending major champions in the decider. Best of 3, they go home if they lose this. It doesn't feel right that they've already kind of tripped and stumbled so early on in the tournament, Jason.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They tripped and stumbled. I mean, that was really interesting match they played yesterday, but it's still the best of 3 against Tyloo. They're going to be overwhelming favorites. I don't think there's any actual real danger of them being sent home. I mean, you could say that because Tyloo, that victory over Liquid, they have a little bit more confidence. I think we'll see a little bit more out of them against Luminosity. But just the way that LG won that match on the opening day versus these guys, it wasn't really anything they have to do much. They just kind of ran around the map, and they really just fast-paced, no respect style, and Tyloo couldn't handle it. So if they start out that same way, that's the one thing, is that Tyloo, it's not going to be as easy as against Liquid, where there were some mistakes on the Liquid offensive side. So Tyloo could just take some main duels. They could just take some main battles, played right into Tyloo's hands. Luminosity's not going to make that same mistake.
And they've got the kind of a game of Tyloo against Liquid to actually look back on as well.
It's not just that. You look at the fashion that in which Luminosity, as we see them now on screen, lost yesterday to Mouse. It's a combination of 2 things. I think they were a bit cocky in the map veto, first banning Mirage. Even if they didn't want to play it, you don't have to ban it straight out. Cobble, they vetoed it as well, which was something Mouse would probably do for them and so on. So they ended up on Cash, and they were just simply outplayed there. Mouse played great individually. Next finally showed up. I think he was the player who made the difference in that game, because usually when you see Mouse play, and in some situations he will get maybe 1 kill, then die. In that game against Luminosity, he was able to string 2-3 kills and deny them entrance into the bomb site on the CT side and so on. So it showed how Mouse can be a dangerous team where more when they are performing as a team, and it's not just Nico. But I agree that against Tyloo in a best of 3, it should be pretty straightforward for Luminosity. And also now when their tournament life, as Sue pointed out, is now on the line, they're definitely not going to get complacent.
So let's introduce them then. Let's introduce the underdogs that we're already kind of talking down about. We can't really expect too much from Tyloo, but that's surely some of their strengths, Robin, is that they really is so little for Luminosity to go on around these guys. We've just seen, 2 best of 1s?
I mean, you saw the interview yesterday that was made from this team, that they actually do look into the Western countries or Western teams and actually have a good approach to the game. You saw they even stole some tactics from an IP on Cobblestone. Attacker and somebody both had good games yesterday. Somebody massive, I think he had 2 massive clutches, and then Attacker just in general just very solid players. So yeah, sure, they do have a little bit of firepower, but coming up in versus Luminosity, you saw that on Mirage day 1. I think it's going to be rough. I don't think that Luminosity will come in and even give them a chance here, not even in the vetoes. They're going to veto the one map they don't play, which is us 2. Maybe Tyloo wants to go with Cobblestone since they beat Liquid on it, but I still see Luminosity as clear winners here.
And it does feel like that's going to be the story. I do want to actually start the veto a little earlier than we normally do, just because I think it could aid our discussion somewhat. So we know how we doubt them already. I mean, this probably we'd be doubting Tyloo in a best of 1, right? But best of 3, is it safe to say, Janko, that we're just sealing the fate of them here? And we actually can see the bans coming in now. I mean, you said they're going to take out Dust 2, Robin, and that's just going to be it?
For Luminosity, yeah.
Yeah, and Tyloo are probably going to go with Train. It's one of the customs they don't play. They don't really play Overpass either, so now you could say that for Luminosity it will maybe be the smartest thing to pick Overpass, because it's a map Tyloo doesn't play very often. Luminosity is pretty good on it, but I don't think it will really matter that much in this matchup. For Tyloo, on the other hand, yes, Cobble is one of their best maps, and it is a map where besides Cash, Luminosity are probably mortal on, so to speak. So that would, I'm guessing that's going to be Tyloo's pick. Cobblestone for Luminosity. It might just be Mirage again, or Cash. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I like that.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I really like that, because because that's the thing. They saw the match yesterday. Obviously, if you compare Tyloo versus Mousesports, you really can't, right? Like in terms of players, in terms of achievements. But I like that approach. They saw weakness in Luminosity's game yesterday versus Mousesports on Cash, end up picking it, and then Luminosity, like Janko was saying, Overpass. I think it's a great pick from Luminosity here.
Yep.
In terms of the third one, I think. How is it? Is it randomized or is it bans again?
Bans again, I think, here.
We might actually see another Mirage.
Yeah, probably.
Possibly even a Cobblestone.
Yeah, I mean, depends.
I don't think Tyloo would be upset about Mirage at all.
It should be.
Yeah, I imagine they should be. And Inferno is actually another good map for Luminosity. So I don't. This is going to be really, really tough for Tyloo, especially because Inferno, if it does happen to get to that third map, the very tight spaces, the tight corridors, the very small choke points doesn't bode well for just straight up aim duels. You have to have a lot of teamwork, a lot of coordination coming into these bomb sites.
I mean, the way that they played CT side on Cobblestone yesterday, if they have the same approach on Inferno, it's actually one of the better maps you can do so on, because it's very, like you're saying, it's very close quarters. You just smoke it off and you play the bomb side, which is what you do on Inferno. You don't really push too much, only on down banana in some cases. So, sure, they have a chance on CT side.
Yeah, but Luminosity loves to have that map control.
I know.
If that passive setup they had on Kai, I know they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it easy.
Oh yeah.
And it's gonna be that's gonna be the nightmare situation for Tyloo, because if they're gonna play those same passive setups, Luminosity is gonna be able to exploit that so well.
I think the problem from what we saw yesterday on Cobble City side from Tyloo is that they weren't changing their setup at all. Like, they were running the same thing over and over again, and Liquid had problems, exploiting that. I don't think Luminosity is going to have any problems at exploiting Tyloo's setup if they don't change it around, especially as on a map like Cash. We talked about it yesterday as well. It's a map where you have to be pretty active on the CT side, treat it as MBK says, maybe even as a weak T side, always fight for map control on different parts of the map. So I think that Luminosity, even though they did lose yesterday to Mouse on Cash, I think today it's going to be a whole different story.
Player to watch, Robin, from the boys from Brazil.
Oh, I mean, Cold Sarah didn't show up yesterday versus Mouseport. I'm going to have to put him on the spot here. He's the guy, MVP at the major, had a good game versus Tyler the first day, and then coming into second day versus Mouseport, he just didn't show up. So I think coming into their tournament lives, not only today, but possibly on Saturday, Sunday, Cold Sarah really needs to step up his game here.
Major MVP as well?
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that we're going to we're potentially going to see haunt him if he does start having the quick underperformances after that one. But he has only played a couple of games. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But with Cold Sarah perhaps stepping up, I'm trying to, as always, I like to try and find those silver linings, right? So let's say, for just argument's sake, that Cash does go the way of Tyloo. They anti-stratted the hell out of what they saw from LG against Mouse. They get that first map. Is there any light at that end of the tunnel? So a second map, we're going into Overpass.
That's going to be.
There's
no light there.
That's going to be disgusting.
That's going to be dark.
And so it is Inferno. That's the only kind of potential, and that's going to be dark as well. Okay, feels like it's going to be tough. But let's see if we can talk about some of the individuals. You mentioned somebody.
He was actually really impressive yesterday. Just like his decision making in some of those clutches.
Positioning was key. It was great.
Very, very good.
And the positioning in general on the defensive sides as well is something that we're going to talk about later. Like these passive setups that you addressed.
I actually think that's going to get them killed against Luminosity. I think that's actually going to backfire here. It works against Liquid, some of the very uncoordinated. But let's not dwell on that. Let's move past the Liquid.
No, but that's something I want to explore, because I want to know why Tyloo's passive style worked against one team, won't work against another.
Okay, so
yeah, Jason,
tell us, please.
Liquid, a lot of the issues with some of those executes on Cobble, especially late in the round, is they actually ran out of nades a lot of times. They really misused some of their utility. So they didn't have Molotovs, they didn't have smokes that could allow them to push towards those passive setups. They didn't have Molotovs to force them out of their positioning. Okay. And Tyloo could essentially just sit there. They didn't have to make decisions. They just sat and waited. Against a team like Luminosity, if you're going to give them control of that B platform, I mean, they're not playing Cobble, but if you're going to give them that much map control, they're going to have so many different staging areas which they can execute, where they can find their duels. They have much more aggressive players. There's going to be so many opportunities, and that's the exact style that Luminosity likes to play. They like to slowly take map control and just constrict on the map and really eliminate where you can go as a defender, and then you make the mistake and you go into them. So it's going to be very tough if they go that same kind of route of just giving up map control and then not challenging for it.
One of the criticisms we had for the Chinese side yesterday was that we saw a lot of the T side was reliant on executes, very set plays. I know it may seem obvious to some, but I do want to just address why that's sometimes seen as a weakness, because to me, I mean, if you have set plays and they work, that doesn't sound too weak to me at all, Janko.
Yes, but the problem is, I can speak from experience, for being an underdog a lot of times. When you play against a team who is favored to win, right, in a tournament, in a LAN environment, yes, on one hand, you don't feel any pressure because you have nothing to lose. But on the other hand, you still research your opponent. You feel like maybe there's a chance for you. You think that you know what they're doing. But then what breaks you is when the opposing team just plays that no respect style and just breaks your whole game plan by doing that. And that's where I think Luminosity as well is aware of that. I think they're able of playing aggressive when they need to, and that's why I think that Tyloo is actually going to have problems in this particular game executing all of their stuff, right? And I think that Luminosity is aware of it, that they're gonna be more aggressive than usual, and that they're gonna shatter the game plan of Tyloo in its roots, basically.
45 seconds, gentlemen. Let's start getting those predictions. I figured we don't need the full 90 because these predictions should be rather quick. Robin, a quick explanation and your prediction.
No, I agree with Janko. Like, in terms of dry running strats, have a game plan coming into it, barely ever works. Because when you dry run a strat, what you don't consider is what will your opponents do when you sit there and stay stationed with your nades out.
Yeah.
Probably they will push you and you will end up killing or ending up losing at least one member, and then your strat is done, right? I see Luminosity winning here 2-0.
Easy peasy. Janko?
Yes, I'm sticking with it as well, 2-0 for Luminosity.
Okay, no belief. You don't want to just throw like a curveball, a Chinese curveball early into the third day of Malmö?
Go on, Anders.
Yeah, I'm
just say it because.
Just in case.
That guy.
Because you look like a complete mastermind if it does actually happen, but it's never gonna.
No. Not gonna do that. Luminosity, 2-0.
Belief in the defending major champions, I'm not surprised. But we're going to be excited to see what the Chinese team can do, and it is time for that game to begin. So Tyloo versus Luminosity starts now.